I love this character that you've played for so many years. I mean, I think Loki's been my favorite character, if not one of my favorites, if not my favorite. And I just have to know, is this the last time we'll see you playing Loki? I mean, I know you've probably been asked this, but are you done, or is there more stories to be told?
Here's the thing. Like in the past, I have said goodbye, and we've exchanged notes with Kevin Feige and Luis D'Esposito and Victoria Alonso, and there've been actually two times where we all, on all sides, we went through the dance of like, thank you so much, it's been the ride of a lifetime, and they said, come and see us anytime, you'll always be part of the family, and there was an atmosphere of finality about it, and then the phone would ring a year later saying, so we've had an idea. And so I think I'm keeping an open heart and an open mind. What I will say is I feel very honored to have concluded season 2 in the way that we have. I think there's a kind of almost poetic or musical, like the end of a refrain, the end of a composition. I think it contains echoes and resonances across my 14 years of playing the character. 14 years for me, 12 years for the audience, but I'm really pleased with where we ended up. I hope it's satisfying for the audience. And as for the rest, time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, to hear your take on some of these relationships that we've seen form in this show. Specifically, I mean, I think Loki's relationship with Sylvie is such a large part of his development throughout the seasons.
Absolutely.
And, I think he chose the path of most resistance in order to protect her and keep from killing her. Yes. What are your thoughts on that relationship and that romance between them, if you consider it a romance?
They are a mirror to each other. And I think they challenge each other, and out of the challenge, they grow together. Two characters, as they say in episode 6 of season 1, I think it's Loki's line, "You can't trust and I can't be trusted." These are two characters who have become so accustomed to being alone, to surviving alone, and the contrast to trust is betrayal. Both characters are expecting betrayal at every turn, and they have to learn to trust each other and learn how to trust others, not just each other, but Mobius, B15, OB, Casey, and to connect to people and find connections, because actually that's all that life is connecting with each other. And I think across season 2, what I loved as we developed it, with Eric Martin, the head writer, and Catherine Blair, who also was on the writing team, Kevin Wright, our producer, and with crucially, Sophia Di Martino, was finding that Loki and Sylvie are in passionate disagreement about what to do. Sylvie believes that in order for free will to thrive, in order for those who have been denied a chance at life to be given one, is for the TVA not to exist. And Loki believes that at the same time as he's trying to redefine his own glorious purpose, I think the TVA is trying to redefine its institutional purpose. And he believes the TVA, as a broken institution, can be reformed, and trying to fix what's broken is worth it. It's difficult, but it's worth it. And when he's presented with this impossible choice by He Who Remains, he has to go back to Sylvie. And it's Sylvie's final words to him that show him the middle way. so they grow from each other. Does that make sense? That's what any relationship, any meaningful relationship, I think, is that that you challenge the other person, well, not deliberately, but you try to meet the challenge of the other person, and that helps you grow. And Sylvie certainly does that for Loki, and I hope Loki does that for Sylvie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, speaking about those important relationships and those challenges, obviously Mobius is another big character and big figure in Loki's life. And I think you and Owen have fantastic chemistry together on screen. And can you talk about bonding these two characters together, especially working with Owen, and then also what you feel like what role Mobius has in Loki's journey for this season?
Well, first of all, I have just so enjoyed working with Owen Wilson. It's been really fun and really fulfilling, and he's just definitive as Mobius. He's so warm and so intelligent and so playful, and in a way, Sylvie is one kind of mirror to Loki, and Mobius is another kind of mirror. And Mobius is introduced in season 1 of Loki as a academic, as an analyst, as someone who is almost a fan of Loki. He sort of studied Loki from a distance and is now getting to see him up close. But crucially, Mobius is detached from the drama of Loki. And I don't think Loki's ever come into contact with someone who is able to sit without judgment in his presence. Everyone else is always part of the story. Odin, Thor, Frigga, and the Avengers, they all get emotionally involved in Loki's actions. And Mobius is actually there's a kind of initially dispassionate detachment, which allows Loki, I think, to feel seen in a way. And it's a very confronting episode in his life, but he's on the other side of it. He's given a second chance. I don't think he recognizes it initially, but he is given a second chance at life, I suppose, at trying to rethink and redefine what glorious purpose might mean. But then I think Loki and Sylvie reveal something to Mobius in season 1. They reveal that, they all had lives on the timeline, that they were kidnapped and their memories were wiped. And so Loki has something to teach Mobius, and they've learned a lot from each other, but they're both so, resolute in their ideas that for us, I think, and Owen, I hope would agree with me, the joy of the scenes with Loki and Mobius is they're often paired together trying to find a solution to a problem. They're like two detectives trying to solve a crime. And I find the most enjoyable scenes are often when they are in passionate disagreement about what they're supposed to be doing. And there's a kind of Loki wants to do it one way, Mobius wants to do it another way. And there's an underlying kind of base level of respect, but they kind of bicker and tease each other and provoke each other. And those are really fun scenes to play.
Yeah. I mean, you can get that energy from the screen. And I think that's part of the enjoyment. And I just want to play a little game.
One last thing. I think Mobius is Loki's friend. And I don't think Loki has ever had a friend before.
Wow, that's very sweet and also kind of sad.
Yeah.
So just talking a little bit hypotheticals, I know you said everything, the door is open, but if there was a season 3, which I have to ask, do you see a potential for Loki's continuing story? I know I was talking to Kevin Wright about it, and he said he was actively pitching some ideas. Is there a path that you can see forward for Loki, or are there characters that you want to see explored more, even if you're not a part of that story?
Wow. I got to call Kevin Wright. What's he been saying?
Let me know. I want to know too.
Yeah. I think, what I feel at the moment is that where we've landed feels very poetic and satisfying, but at the same time, who knows what happens? Who knows what happens out on the branches of reality and the multiverse. Those, I'm sure there are conversations happening about what next. And I guess I'll keep an open heart and an open mind.
Okay, well, that's a very diplomatic answer. And I just want to thank you for speaking with me. Honestly, one of my favorite shows from Marvel. You've just done a great job, and it was a fantastic finale for me. I've also read a lot of T.S. Eliot since doing these interviews, so I want to thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, that's just a gift, I think. I mean, I just find that the Four Quartets is just so rewarding. It's such a extraordinary text. And because of its abstraction, I think it can mean many things to many different people. And thank you so much for what you've said. I've had the most extraordinary time playing this character for 14 years. The complexity of the character is endlessly rewarding, seems to contain so many multitudes. And I don't take it lightly that the audience have taken him into their imaginations. And it's a responsibility that I'm very honored by. And, this is a show about time and how precious time is. And I've given a lot of my time with great pleasure to this character. And so to hear you say that that you enjoyed it is, I'm really grateful to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for spending time with me here today.
Of course.
Thank you so much.